Yalanda Eiloy lost Marquise around about Thanksgiving, I think, so it says on the post in the Free Psychic Readings group. Not my Free Psychic Readings group on Facebook, but the other Facebook one, the A1R Ask One Radio Free Psychic Readings group. There's two of us. So anyway, Yolanda just really, I suppose, on about, you know, she's not had any contact with him. Of course, he refers to him, she's lost him. Of course, if you know where they are, though, they're in the Summerlands, and you know where they are, then they're not really lost, are they? That's another story. Thought we'd use these cards to make contact to see if he's got a message for you there, Yolanda, and see what the crack is there, see what's going on. Let's use these Konxari cards. Konxar, the word Konxar is the Egyptian for talking to the dead. So it's pretty cool, seance cards really, couldn't you, in a way. And we've also got these mediumship cards here, these talking to heaven cards. These have got like pre-written messages on, so if Spirit helps to put these in some sort of order, the pre-written message on each card obviously isn't probably spoken in or said in exactly the way that maybe Marquis would say it, but nevertheless it's the sort of thing. I tend to call this the phrase book for the other side. I've just got a little bit, found a bit of a talisman here, 4 archangels talisman there for the front, the rear, the left and the right. So we'll just pop that over there, shall we? Just so it's just got a bit of protection going on there. Of course, we'll start with the Konxari cards, and we'll just shuffle them first. Of course, with I suppose you could think of Konxari cards as Ouija board, as a pack of cards. Instead it's just in a card form, but it's just a bit more than that as well. It's got like keywords on, photographs and letters and numbers, which we can probably do an anagram later on, and see if there's like a hidden message that you may understand there, Yolanda, from him. But of course, when we use Konxari cards, we put the Ouija board away. So what we do then, we'll just shuffle these Konxari Séance cards here, and we just as we shuffle them, we just say, Spirit of Marquis, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Marquis, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Marquis, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Marquis, through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Marquis, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, Marquis, through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Marquis and all absent friends. And we just cut the deck like that, and then we'll just place the Konxari cards, just pop them there just for now, and then we'll just see if there's a message, I suppose a more plain sort of a message that maybe he wants to sort of convey, as well as think of the Konxari cards. Well, we do tarot for us, we do tarot and runes and things like that. Of course, you have to remember these mediumship cards and Konxari cards and things, that's like a reading for them, isn't it? It's doing their reading, so it's not really a reading for Yolanda, really. It's more a reading for it's Marquis's reading, really. So let's just we thank you, Marquis, for your presence, and we ask for your continual presence, Marquis, and that you commune with us through these cards also, and move among us. Spirit of Marquis, we ask for your continual presence, that you commune with us through these cards and move among us. Spirit of Marquis, We thank you for your presence and ask that you commune with us through these cards and move among us. Blessed be to Marquise and all absent friends. And we cut the mediumship cards as well. So what we'll do, we'll use these just a bit later, but what we'll do, we'll get a feel of maybe what's going on with the Marquis. So I'll just pop these over here. You can just about see them there. They're just over here, just on the edge over here there. I'll just leave them there. And then what we'll do with these cards is we deal them out like in like a diagram, a sort of compass type thing, and we deal out 2 cards there, and like a cross, a bit like a cross formation there. Maybe if we bring it just a bit closer, just so you can see it there, it'd help, wouldn't it? And then of course, and then we can see what happens after that. And then of course, when we've done those 4 in the middle, I just tend to move these 2 here together, just temporarily, while we deal out the other cards here. So there's 4, there's 5, 6, 7, and then we go around in a circle, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12 there. So we've got this sort of thing going on here. Now we have to just remember here now at this point that there are 4 cards that we must never see. We must never see those cards out of respect for the other side, out of respect for spirit, out of respect for Marquise. So you can leave them in and not turn them, but just for safety's sake, as you would say, just in case you accidentally turn them or do something silly like that, what we do, we just simply remove them. And there are the cards of the north, south, east and west. So we just go around as they were dealt and just grab them and then just we remove those 4 cards and just place them underneath the deck like that. And then I suppose normally supposed to pop the deck, I think, to the side, but I'll just pop it up at the top there, just so it's out the way, and then we can see what's going on. Now this is where we just neaten up a bit, of course, and then we can just move those other cards, these central ones. So you've got this cross configuration, I suppose, there, and then the others at sort of 45 degrees, or whatever you want to call it, there. So it's a bit like a compass, isn't it? A bit like a sort of points of a compass, sort of directional thing, isn't it? So first of all, then, what we do, we start flipping cards over, we start turning cards over, and we do it in the order that they were dealt. So of course the first card will be this one here, won't it? So what we'll do, we'll just grab this card here, and what we'll do, just rotate it, just flip it nice and slow, not to disturb the energy, and we'll just see what that card is. It's just flipped upside down. Let's have a look, see what that one is. Deaf, D-E-A-F, as in hard of hearing, deaf. The colour yellow and the letter E, if you can just see that there. I don't know what this seems to be referring to, but it seems as though Marquise may have, I don't know if he's had a hard of hearing or something. Maybe I got a funny feeling as though maybe there was a hearing problem, because of deaf and hard of hearing are 2 separate things, aren't they? Deaf, I suppose, in that sense, is not being able to hear very well, whereas hard of hearing is just not being able to discriminate. You can hear everything when you have a hearing aid. You can hear everything, but you just can't discriminate what you can hear. You can't listen to a bird singing while somebody's rabbiting and talking in the background. You hear everything all at once, don't you? So sometimes it's hard of hearing, but in this case he's deaf. I got a funny feeling as though, of course, here he is pointing towards hard of hearing, somebody with hard of hearing. Maybe it's him, I don't know. Maybe it's a symbolic thing. Maybe he's saying, I'm trying to say something, I'm trying to get a message, and the reason maybe you haven't had a message from me is because somebody is finding it hard to hear me. Maybe that's what it is. Let's just see. Let's just see what this next card is, which is the one that's dealt afterwards. And we just rotate that then, as you can see, and that's the always, and it's got like an eagle in the sky, and like the symbol of infinity, of course, naturally, and the letter I. So if you can just see that there. So what we do, just pop that there where we had it from. Always, as if, I don't know, of course it's pointing towards some sort of infinity, some sort of, as if you always can't, it's like as if it's always the same. You can't hear me. I try to speak and you can't hear me. Either, of course, originally, I thought that it might have been him, he was hard of hearing, and of course, maybe he was, but I'm sort of tending to read these cards in the symbolic sense, in what message is there, and I'm sort of getting this sort of feeling as though maybe he's saying the reason you can't get a message from me, or the reason you whatever, is because it's like as if you're always hard of hearing, you can't hear me. Well, speak up then, I suppose. Not necessarily, because with a lot of people who are hard of hearing in the physical world, of course, shouting or speaking up can make it worse, can't it, really, sometimes? So that doesn't necessarily work, does it? So you have to be a bit careful, don't you, with that. I want to just move on now to the next card. We'll just pull out a few more cards and just see if we can get just a bit some more information other than just this here. Let's just grab that one now. That's the next one, isn't it, that was dealt. Because we had the cross 1, 2, 3, 4, so to be that one after. So we'll just rotate that there nice and slow, and as you can see, tactile, the word tactile, and like a hand, a photograph of a hand, a candle, a symbol of a candle, and the letter F. I don't know. Of course, all these letters and numbers, as I said before, we can probably do an anagram later on and see if there's a hidden message or something in there that you can sort of do an anagram game later on. Write it down and then just see if there's something connected with this. And of course, as you can see there, tactile, so that's a physical sort of thing. He's sort of, I get it like a feeling as though he's saying always, like he's like always can't sort of got this always sort of thing where you can't get a message from me because you can't hear me. You can't hear me, but you can feel me. You can feel my presence. It's tactile. My presence is tactile. It isn't audible. This is what I'm getting from it. I don't know if you were getting that, but if you're just looking there and you can just, I don't know if you can just see that there, I don't know. So just move them, I don't know, I'll just try and move them along a bit for you, just a bit closer. It's not much closer, is it? But it's just a bit. Sort of measly offerings, but there you go, you see. Now, of course, the next card is this one here then, isn't it? So we can see what that one has to offer. But I'm sort of getting this feeling as though you won't hear me, because you can't. Maybe hard of hearing spirit, maybe, like I say, maybe physically he was hard of hearing, I don't know. And he didn't know how to communicate audibly. But I tend to view this and read this more symbolically than anything, in the sense that he's saying, you can't hear me. And this is why it's always the case, you can't hear me, but you can feel me. I'm somebody, my presence is something that you feel. I'm tactile. I am maybe a cold spot, or sort of sensing as though you feel a presence. I look around and there's nobody there, but it's a thing you feel with maybe the idiomotor field or something like that that you sense. That's how he makes himself present. Let's see what the next card is, and let's see what else he's got to say here. What else you've got to say there, Marquis? So let's just pull the next card over. Let's just see what that one is. And this one is Forest. That's an interesting card, isn't it? Just straight out with the Ankhs, the Egyptian symbol, the Ankhs, and the letter A. So the Forest. That's a. I don't know if I get a sort of feeling as though maybe you like to walk in the forest, or that was his haunt, as you would say, literally in that sense, because we use these Konxari cards usually in haunted houses or just haunted places where you can pick up the spirit that's there, and they will say how they died or what happened to them or whatever, and this is how they convey. And he's sort of conveying here because we've asked for his presence there. Marquis is here now. Welcome, Marquis. Thank you for your presence, as we've said before. And he's sort of saying, okay, you don't hear me because you can't. There is a hard of hearing. You're deaf to me. You're always deaf to me. That's why you can't hear me. That's why you don't seem to be getting a message. But nevertheless, because you can't hear me doesn't mean you can't feel me. And you'll feel me in the forest where I used to walk, or where I used to like going, or something. I don't know what this is about, but I get a funny feeling as though the tactile is you'll feel me in the forest. Of course, always in the forest. Hard of hearing in the forest, but you'll feel me in the forest. It's like as though you might not be able to hear the message, as we said, but you'll feel me. And go to the forest where I used to walk, or where we used to, maybe where I used to go as a child, or where we used to go as kids when we were younger, or whatever. I don't know what this is, but interesting, that, isn't it? Now what we're going to now do is pull the other cards out and see what. So the next card, of course, would have been that one, but we had to take that away, didn't we? And of course that one, this one, and this one, we had to take them away out of respect for Marquis. But of course the next one will be this one here. Let's see what that card is. Let's just see what energy is. Oh, that's an interesting one now, look here. Audio. Now, isn't that a strange thing? Taurus and the letter T, and yet we were on about hard of hearing, and yet audio has come up straight away. I don't know if I'm sort of getting here that maybe it's something to do with like a radio or a video or whatever, and you hear him. I don't know if you've heard these spirit boxes where you can it's like basically a scanner, isn't it? A radio scanner that scans at random and picks up different radio stations at random, and then just picks up parts of transmissions, and then you're supposed to sort of think, hello, that's a spirit saying something there. I'm a bit sceptical about being a radio amateur. I would be sceptical about it anyway, but nevertheless there are people who do this sort of thing, and he's saying audio. Of course, audio, you will hear me. Now, just the audio is next to the deaf there. Audio and deaf and forest, as if you cannot hear me there. It's like as if you're saying you cannot hear me where you are now. Or you always never be able to hear me. But I will always be there in the forest, and you will hear me in the forest. You will feel me. You can't hear me, but you will feel me. You will hear me in the forest. My audio or the sound of me will be in the forest, and the birds sing maybe, or maybe the favourite bird he used to like listen to when it sang, or there was a particular sound of wood falling when it's chopped, or the wind in the trees, or something like that. I don't know what it is. But it's like as if he's sort of saying, if you want to hear me, you can't hear me now. You've always never sort of, you've always never been able to hear me, never been able to get a message, but you will feel me, and you will feel me. Yes, you'll feel my presence where you are, but you will feel me in the forest. And if you want to hear me, the audio, the sound of me will be in the forest. You will hear me there. That's where he seems as if he's saying he is. Why, I don't know. This is just what I'm getting. We'll pull out this other card and see if there's anything, any other connection there. Maybe audio, maybe you've got audio tapes with him on, or MP3 files, or even videos where you hear him, but you hear him behind the camera, but he's not there in person, or whatever. But it seems as though the audio seems to be something to do with the forest anyway. I don't know. It could even be a favourite music, a favourite song you like singing or something. It could be anything that he speaks to you through. There's another sort of, here, third eye. The Eye of Horus and the number 3. Look at that there. That's an interesting card, isn't it? That's coming up quite well there. So not only will you feel me, you will see me with your third eye. The third eye, of course, being that invisible sort of eye in the middle of the forehead that you see, the sixth chakra that you can use to see me. You might not hear me now. You might not hear me now. You probably always never heard me now, since not you lost me, but since I went into transition. But you will feel me in the forest. You will hear me in the forest, but mainly you will see me also. Will use your third eye. Close your eyes. You're looking in the wrong place. You're listening in the wrong place. And listen. Maybe the music. Put the music on. And maybe there are lyrics in a song that he likes, and he speaks to you through that. Let him speak to you that way through audio. I don't think that's like music or something of that like birds, anything from bird singing to the favourite pop song or whatever, whatever it is. But yes, there is hard of hearing, but I think he's sort of pointing more to you, the deaf. You are deaf to it, as opposed to him being deaf to you. Unless he is deaf to you, and he can only go by what he feels from you, and when you play a certain tune, of course, when you think, he's always there in your thoughts, isn't he, as well? I suppose you could say, couldn't you? But use your third eye, you will see as well as feel. And the third eye is always with the third eye, always in the forest. The third eye, you will see him in the forest. You will see me there. That's where you will see me. If you want to see me. Of course, I suppose maybe you've seen him before anywhere else, but he's saying you'll sort of see me in the forest and play the tune, the music or whatever. There's some link there, isn't there? I want to now pull the next card and see what's going on there, because we just got to investigate a bit further. Just pull it over nice and slow, just to not disturb the energy there. And straight away you've got hatred. Isn't that a strange card? Like a flame there, and the letter N. Hatred. Now let's just see what that could mean. Very strange that, isn't it? Is it in line with music or sound or audio? Hatred, feel. What's this hatred to do with? I honestly don't know there. But it seems as though it's something to do with tactile. It's linked to like tactile. Always hatred. When you feel me, is it hatred for me? Yalanda, is it hatred for me, or is it hatred for who you think was responsible for my passing, or responsible for that? Is it bitterness? Is it just bitterness? Maybe he feels bitterness or hatred for the way it happened. I want to pull this other card here just to see if we can just try and get this final card just to see if I can try and just get what may be there out of it. Let's just see what that one is. And that says never, never. Let's just see what that's about then. And like the letter, although it's the number 0 there, I've got a 0, never. Suppose you've got a in there, isn't it, as in 0, whereas always is the infinity and the letter I don't know, but let's just pop that. Let's just pop that there. Never and yet always, always. What's this here? We said, didn't we, just before? Always, never hearing me. Is it all? Always, you never hear the music in the forest. You will feel me in the forest. You will see me in the forest. Always see me in the forest. But there's hate. Although you always see me in the forest, there's always hatred around what you feel, because of what's connected to what you feel when you feel my presence. Since I passed at Thanksgiving, there's, I suppose, the hatred not so much for me or whatever, or even maybe you think is responsible, but maybe just the hatred, the fact that you just so hate that he's not there anymore. It's like a bitterness, and then the hatred that's just in the sense of, I so hate why this is, I just hate this, why this is happening, it shouldn't happen. And I hate the fact that I even feel his presence. Why isn't he here physically that we can feel his presence? That's what he seems to be saying, and he seems to be feeling that hatred as well. I hate not being there, Yalanda. I do hate it, but nevertheless, feel me, feel my presence in the forest, hear me in the forest. You can't hear me, you can't get a message from me that way, but I am here now. You're there now, aren't you, Marquise, and you're just saying, I'm here now. You might not you've never been able to hear me, but you will hear me. The audio play that music in the forest, and you will hear me, you will feel me, and you will see me. You see me. Never hear me. Never. Why would we link never to feel? Never tactile. I don't know. But I don't know. I sometimes feel. I somehow get that that's more linked to this, with it being a central influence there. I somehow feel as though you always feel me in the. You will always feel me in the forest. You may never hear me, but you will hear me. The audio that you play, the music that you play, or even me, if you play an audio recording of me in the forest, I will be there and you will see me and feel me. But I do so hate not being there. I do hate this. I do so. There's so much hatred within me. I know, Marcus. It must be terrible that you hate. That hate the fact that you're never there to be heard, never there to be heard, always never there to be heard, but nevertheless you are there to be felt and seen, and that's the key, isn't it? Now we're going to pull out some cards from these mediumship cards. I just want to just pull out this. I just feel as though this card needs to be turned, as if there's just something here he's wanting to say, or the sort of thing he'd want to say. Remember, it's a phrase, isn't it? He says, tears cleanse the soul, and isn't that sort of linked to this hatred, and maybe tears of hatred, or tears of bitterness, or tears of woe, or something in the sense. But Yalanda, remember that tears cleanse the soul, and it's that can probably heal you. Can heal you. I'll put that on the third eye, just on top of that third eye card, because there's nowhere else to put it. But it's like as if maybe you can see that. Maybe you can see that. I don't know why. It's just coincidence, I suppose. No such thing as coincidence. I normally pull 3 cards out of the mediumship cards, just at first, and then at first, and then we see what happens after. If we feel any more coming out, we do. So just see what else. Tears cleanse the soul there, and of course remember that I will always point you in the right direction. So you're wanting to know, of course, if you want a message from me, how is he or whatever, but he's guiding you there. He's always pointing you in the right direction. Maybe as you listen to the music or the sound and the audio in the forest where he is, you will see him and you will feel him, and he can speak to you there. But nevertheless, okay, yes, there's the bitterness, the hatred, the fact that I do so hate that this is happening. I do so hate that I'm over here and you're there, but we will meet again, I'm sure. Yes, you never hear me, but you will. With audio, with maybe help of equipment, listening to the radio, the tune, the favourite song on the radio, or favourite CD or MP3 file or whatever it is, you can access a message from me audibly that way. Of course, audibly this way, because he's here now, isn't he? And of course, okay, tears cleanse the soul. I'll always point you in the right direction. There may be a fork in the road, but I'll always point you in the right direction there. And just remember, of course, I am not dead. He's saying there, remember, I'm not dead. And that's the main thing. That's why you can feel me. That's why you can see me. You might not hear me, but through the audio, the song, or like I say, the favourite music or whatever, that's how I speak to you. I suppose in a way there, it's a bit like how they say, sometimes in the Bible, it says God speaks through creation. He doesn't actually speak. You don't see a big face with a white beard sticking out the sky and speaking to you. But nevertheless, when a bird sings, it's God speaking to you. When a bird sings, it's Marcus there just saying, I'm here in the forest. And of course, he could be there in the sense of, well, if I've come back as a bird, the bird wouldn't remember being Marquis, or anybody else for that matter. So if you do reincarnate, you usually forget your previous existence, so you may as well be somebody else anyway, haven't you? So maybe that's the sort of thing as well. But although that's diversion really to some degree, he's just saying tears cleanse the soul, and it's just a fact. I'll always point you in the right direction because I'm not dead. I tend to don't just put because above there, because I'm not dead. I want to just pull another one of these mediumship cards. Just one more. Normally, sometimes a few come out normally when we do these. But let's just see what else. He's just saying I think this is where the hatred comes in the sense he's just saying Yalanda, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Please forgive me for the way things are. Yes, I do so hate that we can't be there physically. But nevertheless, I'm here. You can feel me in the forest or wherever, or whatever this is to do with. You can see me and feel me. You may not hear me, but if you want to hear me, sort of use audio play. You might hear me on the radio if you use a spirit box or something like that. Maybe something might come through there. As I said, me personally, as a fully qualified radio amateur, I tend to get a bit sceptical about that. But that's of course me using science in the sort of real physical world, as you would say, and not the spiritual. Because remember, there are two sides. We have a twin destiny, don't we, Yalanda? We have a natural destiny and a supernatural destiny, and cards like these lock onto the supernatural, don't they? And this is what we're doing here, and it's as though that, yes, Yalanda, Marquis has got plenty to say. You just can't hear it. You'll never hear it, or you'll always never hear it, as you would say, in that sense. But nevertheless, with the favourite music and maybe audio files of him talking, or just whatever that be, you can go to the forest and he will always be there. You will see him and you will always feel him. That's how he speaks to you. That's the channel he uses. He has always hatred, always but the hatred in the sense in what's been a positive way, but in the sense of, I so hate that I can't be there with you physically. I'm sorry, Yalanda, please forgive me. But the hatred there, I so hate the fact that I can't be with you physically. Please forgive me, I'm so sorry. But I'll always point you in the direction, because I'm not dead, Yalanda. Remember, I'm not dead. And that's the main thing, isn't it? And with that, I think what we'll now do, I sort of feel as though Marquis is like in the distance, just saying his final piece, as if we'll grab these mediumship cards here with, you know, the messages on there, the written messages, as you would say, and then we'll just rotate them, have them all together, and just rotate them nicely and just place them neatly there. And then we'll just get the rest of the deck of those cards and just place them there as if to lay them to rest, but not quite yet. We'll just grab the whole deck and move that over there just for now before we clear it. And now the next thing, the final thing we've got to do now is we gather up the cards, just in the order, I suppose, that they were dealt, or reverse order then, that they were dealt. And then what we're going to do next is deal out these cards, just here in front, where you can see here. And you're going to go, now time to get a pen and paper now. This is the fun part, isn't it? I suppose the little puzzle that he's left behind, in his sense. You're still here, aren't you there, Marquis? Just there. The letter E. So we'll just lay these out for you and then see if you can work anything out. The letter E, and then we've got the letter I there. I don't know, can you just see that there? I don't know. Just about, I think, can't you? The letter E, the letter I, and then we'll just pull out the next one, the letter F. So we'll just pop that there. And then, of course, we've got the letter A. So we'll just pop that there for you. Just try and lay them as neat as we can. And then a letter T there. And then the number 3. Number 3. The letter N, as in November. And finally the 0, the number 0 there. So I don't know if the numbers add up, or it could be the door number, an age, or a date, or anything. And these letters, did he make anything? Did he make a message? Is there anything there? You'll know, won't you, Yalanda? Marquis is just here, just giving you this final message here. So with that, we say that we know that love is the law, love is the bond. Merry did we meet, merry do we now part. And Marquis, merry may we meet again. For now, blessed be to Marquis and all absent friends.